My name is Andrea. It's so good to be here with you. Been teaching yoga for about 27 years now, so I consider myself somewhat of a veteran. I'm very excited to give you an opportunity to just start to feel better. There's so many benefits in yoga. There is reduced stress, which can increase mental wellness and make you feel better. There's also reduced blood pressure, reduced resting heart rate, increased happiness, decreases pain. And so I figure most of you probably already know all that since you've joined for the session today. So while we're here, let's talk about a few ways just to sit. I want to make sure that you are seated with your feet flat on the ground and just sit into your spine, get into your sits bones. Can you feel that? Bring your shoulders and drop them back, and try and take the top of your head as you lift up, bring your ears over your shoulders. So we're just going to think a little bit about posture. Now, when we're sitting in our chairs and working from home or working from any desk, try and have the seat of the desk, or the seat of the chair, a little bit higher than your knees. So you may want to lift the chair height, prop yourself up with books, because that ends up taking the pressure off the spine. With that, we're going to start with just a few breathing exercises. Roll those shoulders back and down and start to breathe deep from the belly. Inhaling deep and exhaling. As you focus on that breath, let me tell you a few things that are happening. First off, belly breathing is the start of all life. When you watch a baby breathe, you'll see that they breathe deep from their belly. As we get older and more things start to come into our mind, we start to become chest breathers. So just bringing the breath down into the belly does two things. One, it deepens the breath. Two, it strengthens the core using your diaphragmatic muscles to pull the belly in. So inhale, expand, and exhale, contract. Almost feel yourself lift up as you exhale. Again, roll those shoulders back. And let's just start with a little bit of a neck stretch. Drop your ear down into the shoulder and take the opposite hand behind to the center of your spine. Now gently reach up to the top of your head, and with the weight of your hand, just gently lean down and open that neck. As we work from our laptops and our desks, we end up looking forward and dropping our head forward. And so opening up the neck muscles can really take off the tension, not only in that upper back, but in your lower back as well. Now gently drop your chin into your armpit, release the hand, and as if you had large dangling earrings, move it from front of the shoulder to back, just feeling that stretch. Continue to drop down this shoulder. Right there. And then take it back to the side and lifting up. Roll those shoulders back. Everyone's going to take a deep breath in, raising those arms up, expanding through the belly. Exhale down, hands to heart. Let's take the other side. Ear down to shoulder, hand comes from behind the spine. Gently drop the ear down. Take the top of the hand, and with the weight of the hand, gently stretch down the side. Feeling a little bit of pressure on the top of that head, releasing, dropping that shoulder down. Such a great neck stretch. And gently turn the chin down into the armpit and release the hand. As if you had big dangling earrings, or you're scratching your chin on your shoulder, move that chin front to back. Open up those neck muscles. And take it to the side and back up. Let's take that deep breath in, everyone. Reach up to the top. Open that chest. Bring your hands down into heart. Let's move a little bit more into those shoulders. Let's take the wrists. So the center of your middle finger all the way up around through your shoulders has what's called connective tissue or fascia, and that attaches into the neck. So just gently stretch your fingers back. You can take them back with your hands or push your hands into the desk and let those wrists go underneath. So from the side portion, you're seeing that openness. This is a great exercise to help release, again, that tension in the neck, but also release those wrists and fingers from typing. Right. And make sure we do the other hand just as equally, feeling that openness through the palm. This opens up and releases the fascial network all the way into the neck. And then let's go ahead and just figure eight those wrists. All right, deep breath in, everyone together. Focusing on that breath, hands down to heart. Let's go back into our neck stretch to the side, chin down to the shoulder, front to back with that chin. Head down to the side and up to the other side. Bring that ear down to the shoulder, front to back to the side, and up. All right, take those fingers together and just give me a little figure eight with the wrists. As we move down the body, we're going to work into the shoulder blades and upper back. Go ahead and take that deep breath in, exhale down, hands on your knees. Now from here, I want you to open the chest by bringing the shoulder blades together, and then round the chest, bringing those shoulder blades apart. So we're opening and closing those shoulder blades. Pull it open and round. You may feel like you're arching and rounding the upper back. That's a good way to think about it. But slide those shoulder blades back and bring them back to the front. I want you to use the muscles to do this. So I want you to really squeeze and create some tension as it comes into the front, and squeeze through those shoulder blades as it brings it around to the back. As we open this chest and shoulder blades, you'll start to release tension in the neck and shoulders. And back. And everybody, deep breath in. We'll always come back to that breath and exhale down. From here, let's rotate through the spine. Your hips are seated in the chair, so we're just moving that rib cage around. We're pressing into the palms to keep the spine upright, and we're just twisting around, keeping the head over the shoulders. Everything's together. This is where we start to engage those obliques and open up the body. And two more, all the way around. Don't let yourself shift in that chair. Keep your hips staying in place. And take a deep breath in, center up. Exhale down. Let's go again, opening up that chest. Turn your palms out to the sides. Let's squeeze those shoulder blades together. This is probably one of the most powerful stretches you can do on your own. You can always take a band behind your head and just hold the tension. But I want you dropping the elbows downward and opening through the chest, squeeze through the middle of that upper back. Hold here for 3 deep breaths. A lot of times people are doing this stretch through a doorway, which is great. It's always good to stretch the muscles, but when we contract the opposing muscle groups, the opposite of the ones that we're stretching, we end up having what's called a reciprocal inhibition, or muscles relax and deepen the stretch further. So my pec muscles are really stretching. Squeeze the elbows together and release. Arms and shoulders should feel light. Deep breath in, everyone together. Hands to heart. Now let's reverse that stretch by lacing the fingers and pushing the arms out. Round through the spine this time. Let's lean off the sits bones and move more into the lower back. So as we're doing this stretch, we're rounding back into that chair. Maybe your shoulder blades are touching the back of your chair. Keep pressing out. Now for most stretches, you need to hold it for at least 10 seconds for the muscle to relax, and up to 2 minutes. The sweet spot is really around 30 seconds. So stretching just a few minutes a day can really make an impact on the body. And release, come back and shake out those hands. Nice job. So we were really talking about this spine space. Let's go into a side body stretch. I think I lost you guys there. Hopefully you can still hear me. There we go. Let's take our hand to the chair and take the other hand up overhead. We're going to work on sliding that hand out to the side or down to the floor and lifting up through the elbow. We really want to open up this side body and leaning back as far as we can. Open up that waistline. We're moving down the body. We worked into the neck. We worked into the shoulders and shoulder blades. We're getting into those obliques. Press it around and coming back. From here, let's rotate down to the opposite knee, crossing over. And these are modifications of eagle pose. And so it's just nice to get that open rotation. As you press the elbow into the thigh, push against it to deepen the stretch. Use those muscles. And take a deep breath in. Exhale and come back up. Let's try the other side. Hand's going to slide out to the side, hand onto the head, side body stretch, or dropping down to the ground. Either one is great. Rotate back, open up the rib cage. This may feel like a twister game, right? We're really moving into planes of motion that we don't normally get to in our chairs while we're working. Take that big deep stretch and rotate down and through to the opposite knee, pressing the elbow into the thigh and turning into the side. Feel the space between the shoulder blades start to open up. Press that elbow into the thigh. Hold here and breathe. One more breath. And slowly coming back up. And release. Let's take those arms up and just rotate that body, getting a little bit of fluid motion, some dynamic stretch into here. How are you feeling? Good? Thumbs up? Excellent. All right, we're going to work down a little bit deeper. This is your invitation to kind of push yourself away from the desk, and let's start with just taking the heel over the knee. And for any reason, hip replacements, whatever's going on with your body, you can't get that up or it can't be as high, you can always take the cross a little bit lower or cross down at the floor. For those of you who can put your heel on your knee, try and just sit comfortably for a moment and let the body just let gravity pull into play here. We're letting that hip hang down. Try and see if you're even in your seat. Can you feel your sits bones into the chair, into the base, crossing that leg? Nice. Let's start with a little spine twist. Opposite hand to knee, reaching around to the back of my chair or to the floor and rotating around. As you inhale, deeply lift up, and as you exhale, try and twist that rib cage past the pelvis. Rotate around and hold that pose for 5. Deep breath in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into center. How's that feeling? Good. Let's go ahead and fold the body, hinging from the hips forward. So you're trying to keep the spine straight, feeling the stretch deep into those glutes, into your hip rotators. Press there. Hold for 5, leaning forward. Think about the spine reaching out. You can take that hand and reach with it. Really nice. You've got it. And then let's curl and round the spine down for our final stretch on this hip. You can take both hands into the chair if you want to deepen the stretch, but let the weight of the spine bring you forward. This is all about opening up the hips, which tend to get very tight because as we walk forward all the time, or we sit in this straight position, we put a lot of stress into our hip flexors. And our hip flexors pull forward on the lower back, which could put pressure on it and create pain or tension. And roll it back up. Let's extend that leg out, flex and point the toes, circle it around, hold the leg if you need to, and set the foot down. Nice. Let's rock that spine, round and arch. So we're simply leaning back and arching the body, round and arch, all the way from the pelvis. Great job. All right, other heel up onto the knee. You also have your options for modifications with the foot down low or in mid-range. And we're just letting the weight of the body take the joint and release it. Try and make sure that base leg, the foot that's on the floor, isn't curling over to one side. You saw me try and do that, right? The body's always going to try and move where it has more ease than it will with tension. But tension typically is tight connective tissue or weaker muscles. And so they don't like to be put on tension. That's just part of the name of the game for flexibility. Tight muscles are usually weaker. So as we sit in this position, we're getting ready for our nice deep spine stretch, reaching around for the opposite knee, maybe the back of your chair, and giving a gentle twist to that upper body and spine. Taking a deep breath in, lift up, and as you exhale, rotate through. Try and press a little against that knee to go a little further. Another deep breath, lifting up. Exhale and twist the body around. Feel that release. Feel the spine twist. And hold. Deep breath one more time, lifting up, twisting a little further, and coming back around to the front. From here, let's go ahead and lift up into those sits bones. We're hinging from the hips, leaning forward. There may not be a lot of movement here, that's okay, but you want to feel the stretch. I think what's interesting about yoga is we're all on our own mats. It signifies we're at our own pace. We have different experiences that our bodies have been through. So accept those experiences and move where your body can and strengthen it. And hold right there. And take a deep breath in. Let's round that spine, drop down, stretching. Hold right there. And breathe into it. Feeling that stretch through the hip and the low back. And slowly rolling up one vertebrae at a time, taking those feet down on the floor. All right. Just rock those feet out right in place. Now we're going to go into a standing position because it's really important to get you out of this seated position for your hip flexors. So as I stand up and invite you to stand as well, all I want you to do is that same spine rounding and pushing. So from the side, it's just going to look like a little round and arch and open. Now as you do this, you can drop those hands to the knees and then back behind the hips, rounding and arching. You can do this from your chair as well, but the key here is to get the glutes, the back side, opening up. We had talked about opposing muscle groups, that when one contracts, the other opens or relaxes. So by squeezing this back side, it's opening up and releasing the tension in the low back that's caused from the shortened hip flexors or from all that forward movement that we had. So I really would love for you to just get a little stand in, leaning back and release. The next one is going to be holding onto the desk in front of you and taking one leg behind you on your chair. Now what this does is it obviously is going to give a little stretch to that quadricep. For some of you may be able to hold that leg up and work on your balance, but if not, just leave that foot there. And again, we're going to do that arch and round. We're just deepening the stretch of that hip flexor or iliacus and psoas that put pressure on the lower back. So if you're sitting a lot, this is a really good exercise to get up and do at least 4 to 5 times a day, every about 90 minutes. Round. And if you can do the hold by holding that foot up, and again, do that arch and round, that will just deepen the experience. Let's rest for a second, take that foot to the floor, holding onto the desk if we need to, and take the other leg up. Again, we're in that arch and round, feeling this quad open, releasing the pressure in the hips. Open and round, open, and if you'd like, you can hold that leg up as you open and round, open and round. One more. Good. And slowly take that down to the side. Now we did talk about those hips and the glutes complex in the back at the base of the spine. We walk forward, so this is typically pretty strong, which makes these weaker, makes them tighter. So let's do another exercise for those glutes. From the chair or from a wide stance position, I want you to bend the knees kind of into a modified squat. Take one hand to the ground and extend those legs where you can. We're going to take the other hand up and go into a modified triangle. Deep breath in, exhale down, other hand up, deep breath in, exhale down. From the chair, it's the same position. Deep breath in, Exhale down, feeling that length in the back of the spine, feeling that length through the hamstrings. Even in a chair, you're going to feel those hamstrings. One more, and up, and down, up, and down. Walk back up, everybody seated together. Now we did a little bit on the right leg. Let's extend that left leg, point and flex the ankle. And let's talk about that lower leg.
We still want to do the escape room? We could do it like the following.
And if you guys can all mute yourselves, or here, I'll help you for one quick second. Just gotta mute everybody. Mute all, there we go. Okay, we're doing great, thank you. Let's talk about moving down the body for opening it up. Let's go into the ankles. So we had brought that leg up and we had done a leg cross. Right now, let's try and cross that ankle around the back. This is from Eagle Pose. And in a traditional yoga class, you may do this standing, but it's a good place to start with your seated. It helps open up the hips. It binds the blood flow into the pelvis, which helps us with our root chakra and also helps us with digestion. And then let's take the arms, whatever leg's on top, that arm is on top, the other's on the bottom, and wrap those arms just into a nice eagle pose. You can open the palms or close the fingers. And hold, squeezing in. Deep breath. Exhale down. Lower those shoulders. Let's try the other side. Let's take that leg up and over. Wrap the toes around the calves as much as you can. There we go. And whatever leg's on top, that arm's on top, reach underneath. Let's take those palms together. You can have fingers open. We're creating that tension within the body, creating the force of blood flow to the center of the body, dropping those shoulders down, continuing to breathe. And one more breath. And slowly release. All right, we're feeling pretty loose now. Let's stand it up and try a few balance poses together and also talk about the lower kinetic chain or the lower part of the body in the feet. Our feet are connected to our legs, connected to our low back. We understand that the opening up the shoulder and fingers will help with the neck. If we open up the ankle, the knee, and the hip, that will help with the lower back. So the first one I want to do is a nice balanced knee standing pose by just trying to balance on one leg. From here, you may want to challenge yourself reaching down right and left. See if you can stay upright, or you may just challenge yourself by holding onto that one leg. And again, if you want to try and make it a little more challenging, really call on that core. This also, as we call on the core, you'll feel that you're working through the foot and ankle, which then helps us strengthen that lower part of the foot. More importantly, increases flexibility by strengthening the weak parts. And level 2, holding that knee up, may take it out to an extension and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg down, walk through it a step or two. Let's bring that same leg up and let's rotate the knee to the side. So a very traditional yoga pose is called tree pose. It's great for stabilizing the pelvis, working through that ankle, and of course lifting the body. And you don't have to have your foot, if you want, you can take your foot up above or below the knee. But it's a great pose to practice, maybe while you're brushing your teeth. I try and tell people to incorporate these simple yoga poses and stretches throughout their lives, throughout their day, because it helps build those little muscles of strength that we all need that help prevent aches and pains, slips and falls. And release. Let's go to the other side. We're on that single leg balance. Knee is up. We're trying to either reach down to the right, down to the left, engage that core and really challenge the ankle, or maybe you're just standing still, holding that in place as well. Find that balance. Work for the level that you're at. Challenge yourself. And let's extend that leg. Hold it, hold it. Let's try and extend that leg out. Flex the foot. Hold it. And lower it down. One more time. Let's lift that knee up and rotate out to the side into tree pose. Again, the foot can be below or above the knee. You can decide where you'd like to place it. But balance is so key to everyday movement. Getting in and out of the car, walking upstairs. You need that balance on single leg stability all the way through the ankle, which is what tree pose helps to strengthen. And set it down. All right, let's open up those legs one more time. And let's just try and reach those hands out into a nice big star, holding here. Feeling the balance on the outer edge of the foot. So what I really want you to think about here is gripping the ground with your pinky toe and feeling that you're creating more of an arch space right into that foot. Reach those arms out strong, lift the chest, and slightly press the hips forward in front of the toes. Feel that balance. Nice. Turn the toe out to the side. Let's bend that knee. Let's take this into a traditional standing warrior. Strong warriors, getting stronger. The warrior for every day. And back to center, both toes forward. Let's take that foot to the other side. So one foot's forward, one foot's out to the side. We're going to bend into that knee. Feel the stretch. Just feel the strength and the power. And back to center. Both toes pointing forward, working to the outer edge of that foot. Let's take our hands down behind the spine, lacing those fingers, opening up the chest, pulling down through the back. Hold it right there. So I really want you to think about pulling these arms down, rotating the elbows in, opening up that shoulder girdle, opening this up, really releasing the pressure on the neck by opening the shoulders. Right there. Shake it out, shake it out. Let's go into our last series here, seated. How are you feeling? Good? Remember that breath takes you back to center. So as comfortable as you'd like to be in the chair, if you want to scoot back and cross both legs, feel free to. If you want just one leg up, we'll do a few moments and then I'll give you a cue to stop. But let's sit tall in the chair. And let's start with just a few breaths here. Coming back into the center where we started. And let's review that series, just talking through it so you can remember to take a few of these stretches home. I know you're already home, so that you can incorporate them into a daily practice. And release that leg. Let's try the other side. Just putting the heel up, the edge of your foot right on there, letting the weight of the knee open through those hips. What a great thing you can do in between typing here if you've got your keyboard out in front. Nicely done. All right, sitting with both feet on the floor, working down the body. We're going to take that ear down to the shoulder, hand behind the back, opposite over, opening that neck, turning front to back, my favorite stretch, and opening back to center. Let's try the other side, taking the hand behind the body, ear down, gentle weight of the hand on the head, and chin front to back, opening that neck. That's our first series. Second series is fingers against the desk, pressing back, even reversing them. One of my favorites is doing this against a wall and combining the two to open up that neck. So I'll give that one a try. Moving down the body, we talked about the chest and the shoulder blades. Again, to ease tension in the upper back, we're simply going to squeeze the elbows at shoulder height, dip them down to pinch the shoulder blades together, and work into this nice open stretch, gazing the chin up forward. Take a deep breath in and out. Moving into spine twist. Opposite hand to knee with the leg crossed or without. We're just going to take a gentle stretch all the way around behind. Take that breath in, lift up, exhale, twist past the pelvis, and come back to center. Other side, pressing in against the knee, reaching back to that chair. Inhale as you lift, exhale as you twist. One more breath, inhale, and exhale, twist, and back to center. And then the last stretch to ease tension in the low back is going to be that standing stretch with your foot resting on the chair, pressing those hips forward. Now, what I forgot to tell you is that the further I'm out from the bench, the more this will help open and lengthen that hip flexor. Think of it as a standing lunge, if you will. The deeper I go, the deeper the stretch starts to become. And release, change legs. I take that foot up behind me. Again, and then tilting the pelvis, opening through the chest, lowering down, bringing that foot as far forward as I can comfortably to feel the deep stretch in this lunge. And release. And to close out our session, let's go ahead and do a gentle meditation. Let's take those hands open to receive. And what I'm going to ask of you is to count your breaths for the next minute. So for the next 1 minute, we're going to count inhale, exhale as one breath and see what the number is to see where your heart rate is, which has a direct connection with your breath. And begin counting that breath. Eyes are relaxed. Letting your mind be clear. Feeling the softness in your body. Allowing the muscles to relax. Deep breathing into the belly. And stop counting. Hopefully you had less than 10 breaths in that series. That means that your heart rate's down below 100, as there's a direct correlation between breath and heart rate. And you feel a lot lighter after our session. My name's Andrea Metcalf. I own Heat 3.0 Yoga Studio in Lincoln Park. We do hot yoga and Pilates Reformer. And Susan and I would love to host you here for a free class.